right, everyone. Well, thanks for attending today's New Year No Program webinar. My name is Chris, and I'll be your host for today. In this webinar, we're going to take a look at how to review your performance from 2017, how to take some of those key metrics and trends that you found, and then how to take a look at 2018 and best strategize to optimize to have the best year that you can have for your program. So just so everyone knows, I'll be recording this, and this will be available to view later in the Resource Center, and I'll also send out a copy of the deck from the presentation to everyone that attended as well. At the end of the demo, I'll open it up for any questions. Feel free to submit any questions as we go along, but just take a note that I'll get to those at the end of the demo, and feel free to ask anything as we go along. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, and my screen should be visible, but if anyone can't see it, please let me know through the chat feature. Thanks. All right, so we're going to take a look at today's agenda. So we're going to look at setting your goals for 2018, how to find publishers and recruit publishers that'll be the best fit for achieving those goals. We'll take a look at some of the different PepperJam technology that was rolled out in 2017 that can help you achieve those goals as well. And then we'll take a look at some tips for strategy and optimization. All right, so let's go ahead and look at setting up your goals. So when you're setting up your goals for 2018, you're going to want to take a look at your 2017 performance. So when you're looking at your goals, a couple key things to look at is how did your program performance compare in 2017, and did you make any adjustments during the year? So did you have any strategy shift? Did you have any budget updates and things like that? And just taking note of the different changes that maybe took place last year to review of whether or not you were able to achieve your goals last year. So also looking at your program's performance, so what campaigns and promotions performed best. So maybe you ran something with specific publishers, or maybe there were certain key dates that you had last year. So taking those kinds of notes from your performance for last year can be great to take a look at setting up your goals for the next year as well. So also viewing which products maybe were top sellers, and were there certain publishers that are associated with those, and who your top 10 to maybe 20 publishers were in 2017, and did that shift? Did you have any publishers that maybe fell off, or any publishers that rose up and become a top publisher during 2017 as well? So it's always a good idea to look at your promotional calendar to see what your strongest kind of time of the year is, or certain promotions that you ran. Did you test anything with publishers? Maybe you had a new publisher that you started working with in 2017, or maybe you ran a placement that you hadn't run before. So taking a look at that and how successful that might have been for your program. But also anything that you maybe missed during 2018, or during 2017, excuse me, that you wanted to maybe reconsider and make sure that you get signed up for in time in 2018 as well. So when you're evaluating your 2017 performance, it's a good idea to take a look at your month-over-month performance. So pull metrics for clicks, revenue, average order value, and conversion rate for each month of the year. And then identify the number of active publishers for each month, and identify some trends or seasonality within the program. So maybe certain publishers were trending up and down during certain seasons. So great things to take note of for your 2017 performance. So it's always a good idea as well to pull your creative reporting to identify what your top creatives were. And it gives you an idea of what you might like to use for creatives going into 2018, and the types of successful creatives that publishers were able to use when they were promoting the program. And if you've had your program going for over a year, it's good to take a look at the year-over-year performance as well. So seeing if you had any publishers that maybe drove some substantial increases or growth, or maybe you had some publishers that first became active this year, and how do they compare to your publishers from the previous year? Did you have any publishers that became inactive? And those are good publishers to take a look at to maybe re-engage with or start a new conversation with to see if you can bring some of that performance back for the program. And I also recommend segmenting your publishers into different tiers. So you might want to take a look at your top publishers, whether it's your top 5 or your top 10. Maybe a mid-range and a low-range tier for your publishers, and then any publishers that are inactive, maybe they're joined to the program, but they haven't yet been driving clicks or traffic for the program. So taking a look at all that, you're going to want to evaluate some of those trends and then start thinking about what you're going to use for your KPIs or key performance indicators going into 2018. So if you haven't had a chance to set this up, I definitely recommend taking a look at this as well. You do have the ability to track your KPIs directly on your dashboard. So you can choose between 1 and 3 of 9 possible KPIs that you can view immediately when you first log into your dashboard. So it's great to take a look at where your program is in terms of your goals and get an idea of whether you're maybe not achieving your goals, maybe you're overachieving your goals, and it gives you that ability to adjust your strategy accordingly. So developing your strategy is very important to take a look at your KPIs. So you're going to want to measure your performance based on those KPIs that you have set up. So maybe you're not achieving your KPIs or maybe you're overly achieving your goals. You'll want to take a look at that and then reanalyze for what you're going to set up for the next month. So consistently analyzing your KPIs whenever you log into the program is great to view where your program is. It gives you that dashboard of your level of success for the program. And then it also gives you the ability to take a look at some different optimization techniques and what you're going to do to help achieve those goals for the program. And if you haven't yet set your KPIs up, I have a quick screenshot here of how you can do this as well. As we mentioned before, you'll want to take a look at if you tracked anything during 2017 and did you reach those goals. Has your strategy changed? Are you going to have a different strategy going into 2018? And how are you going to adjust those goals for the year? And if you did track your KPIs during 2017, what kind of trends did you identify that'll help you with your selection for 2018? So that being said, once you have your KPIs set up and you have your general strategy in place, you're going to want to start finding some new publishers that'll help you achieve those goals and get set up for the best way to optimize for the program. So let's take a look at some ways that you can find some new publishers to join with. So the publisher recruitment portion of your affiliate program should always be tied into your goals, as partnering with the right publishers is going to help you achieve what you're looking to achieve for the program. So always tie in your recruitment efforts to what you're looking for your KPIs. But also analyze your past performance to see who your top publishers are, maybe who your top click drivers are and revenue drivers are, to get an idea of who the strong publishers are for the program. It's a good idea as well to do a competitive analysis, so visiting some top publisher sites to see who your competitors might be working with and the types of offers that they have to get a better idea of which publishers you might want to join with. And then from there, you can start to optimize your search and recruit some publishers that will be the best fit for the program. So that being said as well, we do have a new tool called Optimizer, and if you haven't yet got a chance to use that, I definitely recommend checking it out. And you'll notice that it's up next to the PepperJam logo, next to Network. It has its own separate login. So if you haven't yet used it, it will prompt you with a sign-in. So you can use the Forgot Password tool. It'll send you a new sign-in link, and then you'll be able to use Optimizer. But the great thing about Optimizer once you get signed in is that you'll be able to see publishers like you can see on the screenshot here. Based on some key info that you might be looking for when you're looking to join with a new publisher. So it'll give you an idea of their performance on the network, their average monthly views, maybe their social media following, and some key things that you want to look at rather than having to kind of dig through some extra details for each publisher. But Optimizer also gives you the ability to use an advanced search. So you can search for publishers based on different metrics as well. So maybe you wanted to search for different social media footprints, or maybe, for example, a publisher that has a certain amount of Instagram followers and things like that. So it can help narrow down your search and help make this process a lot easier for finding the best publishers that are going to be able to help you reach your goals for the program. So that being said, as we're targeting some new publishers to join with the program going into 2018, I'll take a quick look at just some general publisher types that you'll be able to view. And it's good to understand who these publishers are and how they're promoting and how that can help you achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve for the program. But keep in mind, some publishers might have different types. They might have several of these different types within them, so always discuss with your publishers to see how they're promoting and some of the changes that they might have coming up for the new year. All right, so first we'll take a quick look at coupon deal sites. So coupon sites are typically looking for those promotions and coupons that you have coming up. And depending on what your strategy is or what your goals are, you're always going to want to have an idea of how you're going to work with these publishers. So for an example, you might look at coupons.com, RetailMeNot, promocodes.com, and DealCatcher. So maybe if you're not entirely promotional, or maybe if you don't like to work with coupon sites as much, you still might want to have a strategy around how you're going to partner with some key coupon sites that can drive some new traffic or bring some new customers to the program. And kind of going along with that as well, another type of publisher that you'll see are loyalty sites or cashback publishers. And loyalty sites pass a portion of their commission back to their members. So it's great to maybe get some new customers, especially if you're a small to medium-sized brand that's looking for some new customers, or some customers that maybe wouldn't decide to make that purchase, but they can be enticed by getting a certain level of cash back. And when you join with these loyalty publishers as well, you have access to their member base, who can often be very loyal or be part of their email subscription and things like that. So it's great to get in front of a new audience as well. And some examples for loyalty publishers would be Ebates, BeFrugal, Mr. Rebates, and Shop at Home. Another type of publisher that you'll come across are sub-affiliates. So a sub-affiliate network is a group of publishers that will roll up into one publisher account. Maybe they're not familiar with affiliate marketing on their own, or maybe they just want to have one source that they go to. So this gives you access to a number of other publishers that you might not have access to otherwise. So working with sub-affiliates can certainly open up your range of different blogs or different kind of content sites to work with. And some examples here might be Skimlinks, BigLink, Magic Links, and RewardStyle. And another type of publisher that you might see are cart abandonment publishers. So maybe when a consumer is putting some items into their cart, but they haven't finished making their decision, or maybe they haven't finished their transaction. Cart abandonment publishers take a look at that in terms of maybe email remarketing or lead capture, chat features, and things like that to help bring that consumer back to finish their transaction. And kind of a broader publisher type would be niche publishers, who could be bloggers or influencers, social media type publishers, or content generators and things like that as well. So it's a good idea to take a look at who some of these publishers are, especially within your vertical or category, to take a look at partnering with them to talk about some of the different content that they can help generate to help generate some brand awareness for you as well. And some examples here might be Who What Wear, Business Insider, and Time Inc. So we'll also want to take a look at recruiting publishers once you've gone through and you've used Optimizer and you've taken a look at the publishers that you think are going to be the best fit for helping you to achieve your goals for the year. You're going to want to go ahead and start to recruit them to the program. So once you've identified them, you can either locate them in Optimizer or the Manage Publishers tool and then invite them to the program. And I recommend following up with them directly just to introduce yourself, maybe talk a little bit about the program, what the average order value is, maybe if you have any new product info and things like that. And you might even want to set up a call to discuss how to best start the partnership. And it's also a good idea to keep track of your pending invites. So I recommend maybe weekly going back in to take a look at who still has a pending invite and maybe reaching out to them directly to see if there's anything else that they might need in order to join. And if you do have any trouble getting in contact with publishers, you can definitely reach out to the customer cares team or your account rep, and we'd be happy to make an introduction or see if our publisher development team has a better contact there as well. And publisher communication is key to a successful affiliate program in general. So whether you're sending a message to a new potential publisher, or maybe you're reaching out to your top publishers, you're going to want to constantly communicate with them to let them know what's going on for the program and just to talk about some of the best ways that they can help you achieve your goals. So I have an example over on the right side here as well. But just some key things to always kind of include whenever you're reaching out to publishers is your program ID, your average order value, your conversion rate, maybe your current commission structure, and any promotions or new products that you have as well. All right, so once you've recruited some of those publishers to the program and you've started to bring them in and get your partnership started for 2018, another thing you're going to want to take a look at is some of the new attribution technology that's available through Pepperjam as well. Keep in mind that you do need to use dynamic commissioning in order to use most of the attribution features. So if you're not yet using dynamic commissioning, definitely reach out to the customer cares team or your account rep, and we'll talk about the next step to update your tracking. But if you are using dynamic commissioning, you do have the ability to use any of these features. And I'm going to go through just each one briefly just to talk about some of the benefits and how this can tie into working with your program. All right, so the first one that we'll take a look at is code suppression. And code suppression gives you the ability to add some codes to the program, maybe that are not meant for the affiliate channel, so that publishers can't get commission when they're using a code that was not meant for them or was not meant for the affiliate channel. So what you can do is add your codes to the program, so this will automatically track, and it prevents you from needing to manually go through and make sure that publishers are using the correct codes or having to make any sort of manual corrections later. So it helps to just speed up this process and make sure that you're not paying out twice for certain codes that might be used here as well. So as an example, you might have a friends and family code that's not meant for the affiliate channel, but publishers may find this, especially if they're a coupon site or things like that might be looking for a code. But if you've added this as a suppressed code for the program, publishers won't be able to achieve commission for that code that is being used. So it's important to relay this to your publishers as well if you are using the code suppression feature, to make sure that they have a list of the codes that they can use and any codes that might be suppressed for the program. So another type of attribution feature that's available is exclusive code. And exclusive codes can be great to negotiate some extra placements with publishers or some opportunities for extra exposure. So what you can do is give a publisher an exclusive code so that even if they're not the publisher that ended up being the last click for that transaction, they'll still get credit for that order if that code was used. So it's great if maybe you don't have as much budget for flat fee placements and things like that. Maybe you can give a publisher a commission increase in an exclusive code in exchange for that type of exposure. A quick note on this as well is that if you're using the exclusive code feature, it will override in-cart attribution and preferred publisher, but it does not override suppressed code. And this is also related to clicklist tracking. So you can give a publisher a code that they can use so that even if they didn't have a click within the click stream before the order was placed, if that code was used, you can still track this back to that publisher. So it's great to give publishers to use so that their users can use that code when checking out, and they'll always get credit for it as well. So if you take a look at some other mediums like podcasts or radio shows and things like that, that's a great thing to take a look at some other maybe out-of-the-box publishers to work with. And kind of related to this is a tool called Preferred Publisher, and what you can do is give a publisher preferred status. So attribution features will check the click stream before an order is placed, and that's another great thing to take a look at in general for the attribution features is you can view in your reporting the click stream of which publishers might have been involved with that customer's journey before they ended up making their final decision to make a purchase. But what you can do is give a publisher a preferred status so that as long as they show up somewhere in the click stream before that purchase was made, they'll get credit for that transaction even if they weren't the last publisher or the last click before the purchase was made. So for example, oftentimes you might have a coupon site or a customer that will get everything in their shopping cart and it's ready to go, and then they'll go look for a coupon code and then go check out. So traditionally, that coupon publisher might get credit for that transaction even though they didn't really generate the initial journey for that customer. So if you give a publisher preferred status, it can help you to work with more content generating publishers and things like that to help make sure that you're crediting them with the true recruitment for that customer. And going along with this as well, you do have the ability to use in-cart attribution. So in-cart attribution will take a look at your cookie duration, and you can set a time threshold. So for example, you might say 5 minutes, but you can set up a window so as long as a click takes place within that last 5 minutes, the system will actually look for who the publisher was before that to give them credit for the transaction as opposed to that last click publisher. So it's similar to preferred publisher in the sense that oftentimes a customer might be looking for a coupon code before they're checking out. In this way, the system will go back and credit the publisher before that in order to give them credit, and it helps to make sure that the publisher that's driving that true traffic for the program is getting commission for that order. And as we mentioned before, you do need to use dynamic commissioning to use these attribution features as well. But dynamic commissioning in general also gives you the ability to adjust your payouts to publishers on a number of different things, like new versus existing customers, maybe mobile versus desktop sales. You can create different tiers if publishers are able to achieve certain sales goals. So there's a number of different things that you can use with dynamic commissioning to help incentivize your publishers based on the things that you're valuing for the program. All right, and then that being said as well, let's take a look at some 2018 publisher opportunities and things that are coming up. So we work often with our publisher development team to develop a list of upcoming publisher opportunities. This is hosted in your notification section on the dashboard. So be sure to check back at this often for any new opportunities that might be coming up, links to different media kits and things like that as well. But also keep in mind that publishers are often open to custom opportunities. So even if you see something that's in their media kit, be sure to ask your publishers if they might have some availability to get some custom opportunities set up for you. We do separate our publisher opportunities in two different categories, and the first one is commission increase opportunities. So publishers often have opportunities in exchange for a commission increase for the program. So this is great if you don't necessarily have enough budget for flat fee type placements and things like that. So you can just work with publishers based on that commission increase. It's also less of a risk because you're only paying that out when the sale actually occurs, so you're not taking as much of a risk with an initial flat fee placement. And another thing to keep in mind is loyalty publishers often hold cashback events, and increasing your cashback during these events can help entice a new customer that maybe has been on the fence about making a purchase. If they see that higher cashback, they might decide to pull the trigger there as well. So it's a good thing to take a look at some loyalty sites that might have some of those cashback events coming up. And I have two examples of some upcoming commission increase opportunities here as well. For Mr. Rebates Valentine's Day Savings event is coming up, and all that's required to participate there is an increase in commission. And you can also see a list of some 2018 bonus cashback events for Be Frugal that are coming up here as well. And those are just some quick examples, so definitely be sure to take a look at all the different commission increase opportunities that publishers have coming up. So publishers may also offer opportunities in exchange for paid placements or flat fees. So they may be homepage placements, category placements, maybe email sends or newsletter inclusions and things like that. And oftentimes publishers will include their different metrics of who their main demographic is, maybe how large their email list is or their monthly visits are and things like that. So those are all types of things that you want to consider, especially to help determine what your potential ROI might be for that placement, as you're going to be taking a look at what the flat fee is for the placement as well. And I have two quick examples for some flat fee placements here. And one is for homepage type placements, and the other one is for newsletter inclusion. So they'll often list different spots and different availability, and it's a good idea to touch base with that publisher if you're interested, especially to talk about what the availability might be if this is coming up. So when you're booking your publisher placements, it's a good idea to review your promotional calendar, especially ahead of time, to identify the opportunities that you want to participate in. Sometimes publisher opportunities can fill up quickly, so it's a good idea to let that publisher know that you're interested as soon as you can if you know that that's a placement that you might be interested in joining. And be sure to check any of the requirements. If there's a certain due date, maybe if there's certain collateral needed as well, and make sure you're getting all of that to the publisher if you've decided to work with them on that opportunity. And then I also recommend tracking your placements throughout the year. So you might want to start this off as you start to book your placements. So you can take a look at each placement that you've participated in and track the period, the amount of traffic, conversions, how many orders were achieved through this, and things like that. And this helps you to take a look at your calendar throughout the year. And then when you're looking at planning for next year, you can see which placements maybe performed well for the program that you know that you're going to want to participate in again. Or maybe you had a placement that didn't really perform well and you know that you maybe want to steer clear from that going into next year. So this is an example tracker, but it's always a good idea to keep track of the different placements that you're using for the program. So quick summary, of everything that we covered today as well, you're going to want to evaluate your performance from 2017 and take a look at some of those different trends and what your strategy and goals are going to be for 2018, setting up your KPIs and goals for the year. And then based on those goals, finding and recruiting the publishers that are going to be the best fit and best help you achieve those. And then utilizing some of the new PepperJam technology to help achieve those goals for the program as well. And then reviewing and booking placements, and as well as also communicating with your publishers to talk about the best ways that they can help you achieve the goals for the program. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for attending today's webinar. I'll just open it up for any questions. So I'll take a look at any that have come in, and I'll follow up here soon. Thanks. All right, so I have a question on the standard amount of time to set for in-cart attribution. It's definitely up to you, but I would say a kind of average might be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. If you think about the customer's journey, or if you ever think about yourself maybe making a purchase, usually within that quick time frame, you're going to look for that code. But you can set this up to a 60-minute window as well. So it's something to consider. You may want to try this out with a 10-minute window at first and see how that works, and then maybe reconsider making adjustments later. And this is being recorded, so we will have a recorded version of this available in the Resource Center shortly after the demo as well. So be on the lookout for that, and you'll also get some additional info on upcoming webinars, as well as a copy of the deck for everyone that attended. And we do hold webinars on a monthly basis, so always be on the lookout for upcoming webinars and what the topics are and things like that. Or if you have any ideas for webinars, feel free to reach out to the customer care team or your account rep. And the recorded version will be located in the Resource Center. And to get to that, you'll go to your tabs on the left side, and you'll see Resources. And then the first one down, you'll see the Knowledge Center. So there you'll also see a number of different best practices, walkthroughs, and things like that. And you'll see a section for past webinars there, as well as a number of recorded videos, like the advertiser demo and things like that. All right, everyone, so if we don't have any questions, I just want to thank everyone again for attending today's demo. Be on the lookout for the recorded version and deck, and some info on the upcoming webinar for next month as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.